House 2 doesn't follow the story of the first movie, but it does follow the wacky and over-the-top groundwork that the original set. What begins as something that appears to be just an ordinary haunted house movie quickly takes off and evolves into complete madness. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's talk about House, the second story. The movie opens with a couple giving away their baby and acting very fearful of something. They hear a noise in their house and go upstairs where they find a mysterious ghoulish figure, all shrouded in shadow. The man demands that the couple give him the skull, but they insist that they don't know what he's talking about. The husband raises his shotgun to shoot, but the stranger is quicker on the draw, and he kills the husband, and shortly after, the wife as well. We then cut to 25 years later, and we meet Jesse and Kate, the latest owners of this house. As they explore, we learn that Jesse was the baby that we saw earlier, and he notices a suspiciously empty pedestal right above the fireplace.
Looks like something's missing.
That night, Jesse and Kate are woken up by their friends Charlie and Lana, and they're both a bit much.
Hey, look at this couch. Nice and comfortable, I'm better.
Jesse is doing some research on his family history, and he learns about his great-great-grandfather, who was a treasure hunter famous for finding a crystal skull. The grandfather's partner was a man named Slim Razor, and once the duo found the skull, it tore their friendship apart and caused them to start a rivalry over that treasure.
Legend has it that there was a second skull that had untold powers that could unlock the mysteries of the universe and bring eternal life to those who possessed it. So, question is, if this is the legendary second skull, where is it?
Jesse also reads that his great-great-grandfather was buried with all of his greatest treasures in a nearby cemetery, so he and Charlie decide to go and dig up the casket. Inside, they find the lost skull, but when Jesse reaches for it, the corpse of his grandfather comes to life. Zombie Gramps throws the two grave robbers into his plot and he raises his gun to shoot, but Jesse shouts out that he is his grandson.
My great-great-grandson? What year is it?
Corporate needs you to find the differences between this picture and this picture. They're the same picture.
Gramps is surprisingly happy to have been woken up, and he decides to accompany Jesse and Charlie back to the house. When he gets there, he places the skull on the empty pedestal.
But the forces of evil are always after this skull, and you gotta help me to protect it. So don't let no one touch the dang thing, you hear?
So, Gramps is full on in this movie now, but something is wrong with the power of the skull because he says that he's supposed to be young and fully restored, but obviously he's still far more undead than purely alive.
Look at me. I'm 170-year-old fart.
Jesse goes to bed, but Charlie decides to take Gramps out for the night. He teaches the former corpse how to drive, and then they stare at the stars and scull some liquor while telling stories and laughing together. The next morning, Gramps tells the boys a few stories, and Jesse asks what happened between him and Slim Razor.
I shot the scallywag is what I did. Well, he took a shot at me first, so I had to teach him a lesson. And I left him to die in the Mojave Desert.
Storytime is interrupted when they hear loud music coming from upstairs, and when they investigate, they see that a full-blown Halloween party has broken out due to some invitations that Charlie forgot to tell Jesse about. The skull begins to glow, and a strange barbarian steps out of one of the rooms that has somehow become an ether. He wanders into the party and walks directly to the skull and takes it. Charlie and Jesse chase the barbarian up into that room, but when they open the doors, they see that it's become a full-on jungle.
Charlie, there's a jungle in there.
Unfortunately, Gramps can feel his life force draining away, so Charlie and Jesse don't really have a choice, and they have to follow the barbarian into that jungle. Fortunately, Charlie just so happened to have an Uzi in the back of his car, so they strap up and they get ready to rumble in the jungle. They enter the room, which is now full of plant and animal life, and even dinosaurs. They track down the skull, but the barbarian tosses Jesse into the plants and he chases after Charlie.
Take your best shot.
Just before he finishes Charlie off, a creature pops out of the foliage and eats him whole. The two grab the skull, but while they're celebrating, a pterodactyl swoops in and yanks it from Jesse's hand. It drops the skull up in its nest, forcing Jesse to climb up to get it.
Jess, don't worry. If you fall, you'll die real fast.
Thanks, Charlie.
At the top, a super cute little baby pterodactyl plays tug-of-war with the skull, but the mama comes back, causing Jesse to panic and yank the baby with him off the tree. He falls to the forest floor, but when he hits the ground, it breaks into wooden planks and they fall back into their house. A prehistoric puppy pillar also crashed into the house, and Gramps seems to really like the little fella, so they decide to keep it and name it Bippy. Gramps places the skull back onto its pedestal, but immediately after, 3 masked men pop out of the fireplace and beat Gramps up before escaping with the skull. Jesse finds Gramps the next morning laying on the floor.
They bushwhacked me. It must have been 30, 40 of them. They come at me from all directions.
Jesse wakes up Charlie, but an electrician named Bill comes over just then to fix some wiring in the house.
Oh, sort of give him a spanking. Must be foreign made.
Jesse leaves Bill to his work, but a few minutes later, he comes back and grabs Charlie and Jesse and shows them that he's discovered something in the wall.
Looks like you got some kind of alternate universe in there or something.
Bill decides to join the duo as they enter the new world, which looks like an ancient temple. The now trio stumble in just in time to interrupt a sacrificial ritual. They start to take out the ritualists fairly easy, thanks to the help of Bill, of course, and his hammer-style sword stance. Jesse and Charlie save the virgin sacrifice and run back with the girl, but Bill offers to stay behind to hold off the ritualists.
Don't worry about me. I gotta get home. It's my kid's Little League night.
When they get back to the house, they're surprised to see that Bill somehow beat them back. He hands Jesse a business card showing that he's been an electrician and an adventurer this entire time, and so ends the tale of Bill, the greatest character to ever grace the screen. Taking stock of their situation, everyone sits down for a nice dinner, giving us a good look at all of the wacky characters. But when the main course is revealed, Slim Razor finally makes his appearance. He shoots Gramps, takes the virgin girl hostage, and steals the skull. With his final words, Gramps gives Jesse his gun belt and reveals that it was Slim Razor who killed Jesse's mother and father in the beginning of this movie. Jesse crashes through an upper story window into a world of the Wild West. Inside, he finds both Charlie and the girl with nooses around their necks, and a moment later, Slim Razor rides in on an undead steed. The two men lock gazes, but Jesse is faster on the draw. He's also very inaccurate, and he misses his shots, so he's forced to run as Slim hunts him down. Jesse runs back into the house, and he finds an old Winchester, and they continue their firefight. Slim smacks Jesse to the ground before pulling the skull from his chest and declaring that he's won and the skull now belongs to him. This moment of showboating gives Jesse the chance to jump across the room to his gun and fire at Slim, and this time, his shots ring true. He shoots until Slim's head explodes.
Did you blow his head off? That's a good boy.
Despite having the skull back, Gramps says that he can't recover, and he's done all that he could in this world, and it's time to move on. He gifts the skull to Jesse and passes away. Unfortunately, all of these gunshots have caused the police to come. Jesse is about to head outside to speak with them when Slim's headless body rises up and fires, hitting the sheriff and causing the police to open fire. Their gunshots hit a lamp and start a fire, so Jesse scoops up the puppy pillar, Gramps' body, and the pterodactyl baby, and he enters back into the Wild West. He, Charlie, and the virgin girl bury Gramps with the skull and ride off into the sunset. And that is where this movie ends. Like I said, House 2 is just super wacky. It's not really scary for a haunted house movie, but it does take the story beyond the scope of what most films would even attempt. Each room turning into another world was a whole lot of fun, and seeing the group grow with each environment made for some really funny visuals. Also, I really love Bill. I want to see a Bill the Adventurer movie. I think anything he would be in would just immediately become the greatest movie of all time. But overall, I definitely liked this movie. It moved really fast and felt a bit congested at times, so I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. And I'm going to give Bill a 6 out of 5. You know, he deserves it. And that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and a huge thanks to my YouTube members. I have a lot of fun making these videos. I love watching these just random, lesser-known movies, and the support and feedback that I've been getting has been really gratifying. So thank you guys so much, and if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and consider becoming a YouTube member. It's only $3.99 a month. But yeah, until next time, please don't go dig up the corpse of your great-great-grandpa, because he probably doesn't have a whole lot of treasure in there. If he did, though, that'd be kind of cool. Share it. If he did, share it with me. I gave you the idea. You gotta share it with me. Bye.
Looks like you got some kind of alternate universe in there or something.